So, there's a small YouTube channel named Piper Rockelle, and I ought to talk about her again real quick because I have every right to criticize her brand. And for those of you who don't know, Piper Rockelle's a kid influencer of some sort. She's barely younger than I am. Barely, by the way. Please keep that in mind. I'm not that old, guys. Please. But anyways, it's such a wild concept to me that I've now completely achieved boomer unk status. I'm gonna be officially 18 in about 4.5 hours as of I'm recording this video. It should be around like half an hour before this video is uploaded. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be huge like boomer, bro. Like just feel free to spam boomer in the comments, dude. But anyways, this is embarrassing to say, but it's a story from my own status where basically I had to get out of my second period class and skip the entire day because my back hurt too much. So then, after that, I had to go to the doctor, get Celoxib, a pill for menstrual cramps, and baclofen. So I had to take period pills for my back pain. That's how old I am. But my unkstat is not what I'm here to talk about today. What I'm here to talk about today is Piper Rockelle, who doesn't even turn 18 until 38 days from the uploading of this video. Keep that in mind. And I also have made a few videos featuring Piper Rockelle by now, and I just want to make as much noise as possible about this, because it's so messed up the things that Piper's doing. And before we continue, I have a few disclaimers to give. First of all, please do not go harassing Piper Rockelle. That is loser behavior, she doesn't deserve it, and we all know about the fucked up past she's gone through, none of it is her fault. And even if it was, this is just my opinion at the end of the day. It makes no sense to harass people based on the opinions of a stranger. That makes no sense at all. Nothing in this video is even a fact anyways. It's all just entertainment at the end of the day. Who cares? Well, I mean, obviously I care. I hope you guys care too that there is a kid who's going through all this stuff right now. Allegedly, of course. And this video is also not meant to send hate towards them in any way whatsoever. I just want to rant about them because her brand does not align with my personal morals, so here I am making a video about it. The second disclaimer is that the first time I started making these types of videos expressing my overall dissatisfaction with content creators as a whole outside of Darman, Piper Rockelle was one of the first deers in headlights that I could just run through. Unfortunately, because obviously I didn't have experience with videos nor diving deep into people's online portfolios similar to a cave diver going into caves, that video was a little bit more incoherent and kind of just a nothing burger overall. It was more of me just saying, I don't like that because I don't agree with that, therefore you guys should too. And that's not a very good video idea to make. So for that, I'm really sorry for my incompetence at the time, and on top of the fact that I'm just seeing what I believe are to be some of the most appalling things I've seen on this platform recently and on Instagram, I decided to make another video that's actually a lot better and it brings up a lot more valid points than just me saying, I don't agree with that, ergo you guys should not as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm really sorry about the incompetence at the time. I've grown a lot better, but I just kind of feel bad that I could have been months early to that, and I could have just brought this up a lot sooner to everyone. And on top of the fact that my inexperience just caused her to suffer through for a few more months. She's still suffering, obviously, allegedly, of course, but still. And the third disclaimer is that I will briefly explain my beliefs and ideologies, so that way you guys can understand what point of view I come from. Primarily so you guys can understand why I believe the things I believe. I am an Asian Catholic male. I have stated this many times and I'll say this again just so that way you guys can understand where I'm coming from. So obviously I would be a little bit more conservative, a little bit more critical, especially because of relationships that involve children. Maybe conservative and critical squared because, you know, Asian times Catholic equals very conservative. But I'm not like that conservative, but like, you know, there's obviously things that I draw the line between, but anyways, you get the idea. I also believe that people aren't truly adults until they at least turn 24 or 25, because they would not have the social, economic, and political experiences that an adult should theoretically have. 18 years is how long it takes for a child to finish school, but that doesn't mean that they have experienced the world in its entirety. They only are limited to school, maybe a little bit outside depending on their parents and how free their parents let them move. And I'll also make a video eventually on my argument about why I think 21 should be the new 18. But anyways, yeah, you get the idea. Because of the things I stand for, I absolutely despise the brand of Piper Rockelle. And, I mean, yeah, that's kind of about it for now. I'm kind of done with all of the disclaimers. I'll try to bring up more critical points than just boo-hoo, I don't like their content in this video compared to my first Piper Rockelle video. And this will probably be the last time I talk about Piper Rockelle, unless I want to brag about me being right, or unless something just absolutely abhorrent comes up, then I have to cover it. Which, now that I think about it, I prefer not to be able to brag about it, because that would just mean that something bad would have happened to her for me to be right. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully I'm wrong, but it doesn't really seem like it in my opinion. So, with that being said, let's begin. Let's just start off with the first thing that got me rolling my lazy bum over to my laptop. I usually maximize my misery, like just absolutely misery mogging everyone else by starting off my morning routine doom scrolling Instagram reels, and by some quote unquote miracle, we all know this isn't a goddamn miracle, but there was a post made by a certain person in Piper's circle. A certain post from a certain Capri Jones. Yes, Mr. Jones has posted about Piper Rockelle and they're currently dating. Now, I looked through this Capri Jones fella and I do not approve of their relationship. It's totally because I am against interracial marriages because they're misogynistic towards white women, or whatever that one scene from the class of '09 said. And totally not on the Instagram page, where there is a picture of two minors in the same bed as each other, with their faces like what, a standard teddy bear apart, so that'd be like 9-11 inches. But anyways, yeah, it's really weird how you have a picture of kids in their bare necessities, and then later on you post a picture of them in bed together. That's still very weird in my opinion. Unless those kids are just having a sleepover, then that's slightly finer. Still weird, but slightly finer because they wouldn't be romantically involved. It's still weird either way. Kids sleeping next to each other and being physically close while being an official couple is really just weird overall. The second thing that I want to talk about is this other reel right here where Piper's literally dancing to obviously the most family friendly song on the internet, one that's best fit for kids totally, the one that you may all know and love, Soaking Donkey Poo-Tang. It only plays up until about these parts of the lyrics and that's pretty much it, but still, nonetheless, the dances she's doing in that reel are obviously very sexual because she's putting an emphasis on her buttocks, she's putting it in the center, and she's also having Capri, seemingly, of course, allegedly, looking at it. Now, I, as an about to be adult in about a few hours before I turn 18 type of person, can appreciate a good old drenched cisflash feline, but I really don't think children should be dancing to that. This kind of reminds me of the time where Austin from the Ace family had her daughter dancing to Saturated Posterior Punani. What happened to the people canceling the Ace family over that? Where are they now? And just the fact that you're having your daughter dance to that song alone just really puts me off. But what really sets the gear in a full drive going towards full speed into a tree while drinking whiskey and playing Freebird is the fact that you have Capri, allegedly of course, looking at her behind. And when Piper sees him doing that, she obviously tells him, Capri, stop doing that. Nah, I'm just joking. She doesn't do that at all. Instead of confronting him about what he's looking at, she just tells him he was supposed to be in the front and like that's it. He was supposed to be in the camera. That's the main concern, obviously. Now, whether or not that was just the people forgetting what the script was supposed to be and Piper just improv'd, maybe they're so used to filming these types of things it never occurred to them, it's hard to tell. But nonetheless, it's still an inappropriate reel, I think, that certainly, in my opinion at least, needs to be taken down because it does, in my humble opinion, make some kids look a little bit more silly than they should be being sillying around, if you get my drift. And the worst of it, from what I've seen, is this reel right here, where they were sponsored by this calorie tracking app called Cal AI. In the last few bits of the Instagram reel right here, you can see Capri getting really close with Piper, and then Piper pushing him away. I don't know whether or not that was just her being uncomfortable, or unless it's a little quirky, played up bit where Piper's trying to go, oh, Capri, stop this nonsense at once. We are amidst the presence of an audience. But either way, it's still really weird, and on top of the fact that her underwear is flashing the goddamn camera, I don't know what is up with Piper slipping around her undergarments, but that is such a really weird thing to be doing and really needs to stop. And if you see anyone who's still supporting Piper Rockelle's comment by commenting, oh, you're so beautiful, oh, you're so pretty, just know to only touch those people if you have a 10 feet pole, because they are, in my humble opinion at least, creepy frickin' weirdos. But yeah, as you can see here, it's two minors in bed with each other, but this time they're trying to kiss each other. Another really weird picture that I want to talk about real quick is this one picture of her posing with her boyfriend on the 4th of July. First of all, I wouldn't really celebrate the 4th of July with this shit show we call 2025 American politics. But that's excusable because at the end of the day, I'm not going to get mad if you still want to be proud of being an American, even though the value of our dollar is basically committing soup of slide right now. And second of all, why is Piper's overall strap on the side revealing her to be in nothing under those overalls but an American flag themed bikini? In my humble opinion at least, I don't think we should be posting literal children doing a little nip slip Alinity style for thousands of people to see. But who knows? Maybe that's just me being an incel, and it's completely fine to be posting these types of pictures. I mean, what do I know? I'm just a kid myself. Oh wait, no! But anyways, yeah, I mean, you get the point. Like, that's just really weird, like the pictures she's posting. That, I think that needs to be taken down. Like, objectively speaking, that really does need to be taken down. It would be fine if she was in, like, overalls and then, like, some sort of top at the very least. Like, at least cover yourself, you know? But no, she's not. She's in overalls, she's slipping the strap to the side, and it's very apparent that it's actually been pulled aside. You can see the wrinkles there. So, it's obviously, in my humble opinion at least, on purpose. Speaking of putting kids in weird contexts, Piper Rockelle also made a video where apparently she worked as a Hooters girl. Now, the reason why it's weird in of itself is because of the business model Hooters has. For those of you who do literally anything but doom scroll Instagram Reels for a living, Hooters' entire business model literally relies on waitresses, not waiters, waitresses, being attractive and putting on them orange booty shorts and a tank top with the Hooters logo on it. You know, someone you'd call a Hooter girl. And at the ripe old age of 16, she done made a video pretending to be a Hooter girl for one day. There's so many things wrong with that video, so let me just start off with the premise of the video itself. It really is an insult to all the Hooters girls who have to get gawked at all day by working their job just because the establishment they work at has a business model of them dressing up hot. Being a waiter slash waitress is hard enough already, but being one and being used as eye candy does really take a toll on you if you're in that environment for long enough. Secondly, I'm pretty sure that this would actually impact her employment if this was official to some degree, because there would be so much backlash on future employment when it comes to her applying for a real job once the money well on Piper Rockelle runs dry. And third, moving on to the idea of Piper doing this, she's a kid. There's so much proof that Hooters waitresses are in an environment where children should not be working in it by any means. Take a look at this 1993 lawsuit according to Vanderbilt University, or this On Labor article based on a lawsuit in 2020. Really messed up stuff. I don't know how Piper was even able to get a Hooters establishment to even do this in the first place. Some other really messed up and allegedly, of course, bad no-no things that are happening with Piper Rockelle are the fact that Piper Rockelle literally has a page that, in my opinion at least, implies sexual stuff. Now, keep in mind, I do not have any proof that this is actually the real Piper Rockelle page. I just discovered this to prove at the very least there is something fishy going on with Piper Rockelle. If you guys know about this, I highly discourage you all from giving a hint as to what domain this page is in, and I will be blocking the website name from the comment section just in case, because I really don't want to drive traffic to this page. Obviously because I'm an incel and I'm a very lonely person, of course. Totally not because this is a literal description on the page saying, I'm so excited to share more of me with you. Heart emoji, lipstick stain emoji, unlocked emoji. You cannot tell me there are not diabolical things happening behind that paywall. And on top of the fact that there are pictures that are supposed to show what you can get from this page is just absolutely abhorrent. It's her in animal onesies that are a bit too tight for her, if you get my drift. And you like, look at the description. There's literally a lipstick emoji, unlocked lock emoji, heart emoji is meant to imply like lovely, quote unquote lovely things. Lipstick stain emoji is meant to be like a kissy type of thing. So you know something a little bit questionable is going on behind that paywall. An unlocked lock emoji, that literally means her privacy is not private anymore. That is so weird and so disgusting. Overall, this is just really weird page, and I really do not want to look into this anymore. I take that back. I had to look back into her page to make sure I wasn't missing anything, and this is definitely going to come up later, but I want to say this. A member of the Bop House in this one reel right here is still actively present in the forefront of this reel that is also an undisclosed collaboration, which happened like a few months after the whole Bop House and Piper Rockelle controversy. They're still doing it, by the way. I just want you guys to remember this. They're still doing this. I can't even remember the Bop House people. I didn't even remember who this is because they've fallen off so hard and are so insignificant to me that I just couldn't remember who this was. So I had to do a whole freaking facial analysis on her to find out who she was. And after examining the lashes, the line on the lip showing a double lobed lip, eye shape, face shape, I've come to the conclusion that the Bop House member allegedly working with Piper Rockelle is Aisha Sophie. Or I could have just scrolled back up like 2 reels and seen the tag. I just wanted some validation to seem better than I really am. But yeah, that is such a weird thing. The Bop House is still collaborating with Piper Rockelle, who, as of the uploading of this video, is still a minor. And that is so weird. I don't know how they can keep getting away with this. They really do need to be having their pages taken down, at the very least. Well, not all their pages, like their OnlyFans and stuff like that, can stay up. That's fine, I guess. Like, they do them. But things like this, where they involve a minor in the promotion of their material, and by the way, the whole point of a collaboration is to promote their material, so I don't even want to hear any arguments about that. But anyways, you get the idea. It's not a good look for the Bop House or Piper's manager to still be doing stuff like this. It is so disgusting, and it actually just, it's not right. Like, even though this may or may not be legal, it's still weird in my opinion. You're still using minors at the end of the day. You're still putting a minor in the presence of an adult model. That is weird. And if you still think that that is not like a bad thing, and you still think, oh, it's Piper Rockelle, she's famous, she can collaborate with whoever she wants, would you put your kid like with another adult model? Like, would you have your kid making Instagram reels with an adult model? If you do, then I think that you are weird. But if you don't, then do you see what I mean? Like, you can't be doing things like this. This is just morally wrong because you are involving a kid in the promotion of adult content. This is not a good look for Piper's brand. And I just want to say that I predicted this a while ago. I predicted that Piper Rockelle was going to work with the Bop House. I predicted that Piper Rockelle was going through something at the very least. And I also predicted that they were going to be under massive fire from all these things. And I predicted that they were going to be creepy weirdos. Now, here are my two predictions for Piper Rockelle. I need to put in these two, because I firmly believe that we live in a universe where one of these two things will happen, because number one, I don't have enough power to do anything, and number two, my prediction were right, so I might as well throw another one out there just to see if I could land my shot, depending on this very condition. If Piper Rockelle and the Bop House do another collaboration again within the time span between this video is uploaded and a week before her birthday, Piper Rockelle will be a member of the Bop House. She will start doing short-form content with the Bop House in order to promote her own OnlyFans page, and she will probably do a lot of collaborations on that page with the Bop House in order to navigate the whole adult modeling industry. However, if there's anything with the Bop House after the week before her birthday, I think that Piper will occasionally collaborate with the Bop House, but will still officially remain a separate entity from the Bop House. She'll be like friends with the Bop House, but not like an actual part of it, and was just using the Bop House to get more attention from that side of the internet. And the reason why I say the second prediction is because she's already met up with someone who has connection to Spencer, an adult store that sells, you can probably read. So I'd probably just wait and see what happens, but I can feel that I'm partially right. She will open up an OnlyFans page. That part I would bet actual money on if I wanted to. Now, whether or not she would work with the Bop House or Spencer remains to be seen, but still, I'm not very optimistic about Piper's future, or just Piper's life in general, really. It's just my opinion, allegedly, of course, blatantly molding someone into a model. Like, that is just really gross, and the way Piper grew up is really unfortunate. Overall, she has an entire website dedicated to whatever shenanigans she's locking behind a paywall. She allegedly tends to show her body a lot more than she should be showing for a minor. The Bop House is allegedly still working with her, and she's allegedly being put in the same bed as her boyfriend, and they're both trying to kiss each other, while the other is trying to push something away. That's really weird. And my predictions for her career in the future aren't really bright either, and I just want everyone to know, including you, Piper's mom, if you're watching this, to know that I highly advise you not to put Piper down this path. I'm not even joking. I legitimately believe that if Piper opens up an OnlyFans page, whether that be voluntarily or by force, that would legitimately ruin her career. It is not financially sustainable. Models do not make nearly as much as regular content creators in the long run. And sure, you'll see a gargantuan increase in income because it'll be like the first time some random creepy borderline pedophile weirdo would be seeing this barely legal girl on OnlyFans. But in the long run, you won't be able to make those 7-figure paychecks as easily if you just had Piper do her own thing, make regular content for kids that is much more profitable in the long run, and just not have her be doing those inappropriate things. If she wants to do it by herself, by all means, after she turns 18, or really, in my humble opinion, she should wait until she's 21. But either way, that's her own decision. I can't control what she does. But I'm just saying, I think that morally speaking, this is appalling. Alright, so I know my mic quality dropped, but I want to help you guys visualize this real quick. So let's see here. Imagine if Piper Rockelle does open up an OnlyFans page, right? This is what her income's gonna look like. This, right? Maybe a little bit of this, or actually no, this. This is what I think her income would look like, right? It's pretty dope. It's pretty good, huh? Very, very nice, right? Let's just say if she made like regular kids content. That's what it's gonna look like. So as you can see here, there is going to be a very huge jump, and you're gonna have exponential increases here, like for first part, right? This is what it looks like if you just have regular kids content. Sure, you make all of this, and all like the space between this, like the integral right here, that is huge. Let's be real here. That is massive, massive low taper fade levels of massive. However, you can see here it quickly starts to fall off, and this point right here, this point in equilibrium right here, is the part where people stop wanting to look at it anymore. You're not going to have loyal subscribers. Well, I mean, you are obviously, but you're not going to have as many loyal followers, because from here on out, after this point, everyone's already seen what she looks like. Here, they don't really know much about her, and they're interested in her content, and also it's a mix of kids watching the content. So yeah, you get the idea. It's just much more sustainable long term if you just do this. It makes no sense. And yeah, I mean, that's about it. That's all I really have to say. Overall, Piper Rockelle really does legitimately need help. She needs to get off the internet for her own good, or if she still wants to stay on the internet, still become an influencer, pick better ways to take pictures, obviously, and also pick better collaborators to work with, because with the rate she's going at right now, I'm not very optimistic about her future. That's about it. That's all I really got to say. Overall, this is just one really weird thing. I hope you all have a good day, and bye.